interpolation, as I told you, interpolation syntax is always good to use whenever if you want to display the direct content within the HTML, like descriptive tags like H1, H2, H3, or it might be a paragraph tag, or you can take the table tag, TD tag, and a TR tag. There we are directly displaying the content. At that time we use what? An interpolation syntax, and that is fine. Suppose I have a requirement. The requirement is going to be, I wanted to give a dynamic value for the property of the HTML. That means here image is a tag and which contains src is the property that what we are calling. And for that particular property, if you wanted to give a dynamic value in the sense, instead of directly giving the value, I can get this value from the component. I can get this value from the component. Okay, from the component. If that is a case, what you can do, we will be giving what? Attribute binding. Okay, src is the one that is an attribute of the HTML, and to this particular attribute or property, I am giving a value that is what we call it as a product image, and this product image is the property which contains the original value over here. But tell me one thing here, when it comes to an image, src is the known element and height is the known element, width is the known element, but we have different elements which are not understandable by the HTML also. That means, let's say I have something like this. Now what I want to do is I'll be giving 3 here, and after that I'll be giving 3 here, and I'm going to create another div here. First you can see I'm taking another div which I'll be giving div call 3, and at the same time I'm giving margin top as going to be 4. I wanted to execute this application. So how I can do that? First we'll go to the projects. In that we have data binding hyphen demo. Okay, what is the project name? Data hyphen binding. Okay, very good. CD space, we have the project slash data hyphen binding, that what I can give, and say okay. Now you see ng, how to execute, tell me? Yes hyphen o. Right, very good. ngs hyphen o if I am giving, then automatically that application execution will start. And see, we are able to see an output over here, one-way data binding. I'll be giving the heading outside. Instead of writing over here, let me cut it and then paste it over there. Now you see, I'll save this application. Now you see this is how, and I wanted to display a class over there, text hyphen center, save it and then come back here. We are able to see like this, right? Now in this third portion, I want to display the data with the help of a table. I'll be taking a table, and with the help of the table, I wanted to display the data. Generally, how to display the table? How do we display the table? Tell me. By using which tags? Right. Okay. We will be having a table tag, and the table tag will contain the tr tag, and the tr tag will contain the th. And where in this particular th, I'm going to display all my product data. That is my requirement. So the first one is going to be, let's have the product name, and after that I'm going to have the another th here, that is going to be price, that what I just wanted to have. And the third one is going to be, I'll be having the th where I can say stock availability. Stock availability, that what I am writing. Right? What I am doing, I am taking a simple tr, and this tr will contain, table, the table will contain the TR, and this TR will contain TH over here, like that it is going to be. And after that, in another TR that what I am taking, and in this TR, I'll be taking the TD where I can get the data from the component. So tell me how to display the data. Which syntax is suitable here? Interpolation or attribute binding or else property? Which one? Interpolation, because directly we are displaying the data within the TD. So that what I can do, I am giving an interpolation. First, what we want to display? Product name. Okay, fine. I'll be giving the product name, so that I'll copy that and then paste it here. And the next one is going to be, we will be having another TD here. And for this one, I am getting what? The price of the product. And then I'll be giving it over there. And the next one is going to be, I am having the TD, the product availability. In stuff like, writing that, I'm going to use this one. Let's copy that and then paste it here so that it's fine. Okay. Now you can see I'm going to remove the span tag also here. Fine. Now you see this is all about what? The data. Now we are able to display the data something like this. Okay. Now we are able to display the data something like this. My screen size is very big, so that is where it is showing me like uneven. Okay, not in a proper way, but this is how it is going to be. I have a requirement. I wanted to apply height and width for the table. Understand? Do we have the property? Height and width? Yes or no? Just think yourself. Do we have the height and width property for a table? If I will be using, you see, I am using for a table. This is the table. And for this table, if I will be giving the height is equal to, let's have the 200. And at the same time, when I keep my mouse on here, maybe, okay, it is not showing me. And then width is going to be, let's have 200. If I will be giving, save this application and then you can come. Is it applied over here? Tell me. Is it applied? No, it is not applied. Okay, if you want, you can see, I'll be giving the border. Border is a property. You can apply, not an issue. You can see we have the border. But when I'm changing the height here from 200 to 1200 and save this application, you can see we have something like this. That means height is going to be applied and width is also going to be, okay. Let's go to the width. I'll be giving 1200 and then you can come back here. Width is also going to be applied. But there is some regulation or else there is some rules that are defined by the DOM. Now what is DOM stands for? What is DOM stands for? What is DOM stands for? Document Object Model. Now when the DOM coming to the picture, what is DOM? Don't say that like document object model. Okay, now tell me what is document object model? DOM. Tell me what is document object model. What you know about it? What you know about it? Tell me. That is where I asked you to learn the basics of JavaScript. So here in HTML, you see we have like a table is available. Okay. And in that we have the TR tag is available. In that we have the TH tag is available. What is DOM? Whenever if you are executing the HTML, by default, if you can right click and go to that inspect, and here you people are seeing that, right? You people are seeing the complete HTML or not? This is what we call it as DOM. Not this HTML. This is what generally, if I right click and go to that inspect, now you can see we have an image. For that image, there is an object is created internally, and that image what we call it as DOM. You can see that which comes with some margin, which comes with some border, and which comes with some padding. All these are generally the box model. But what happen internally, whenever you write the HTML, that is the plain HTML. That is plain HTML. But once if this HTML is executed and rendered in the browser, it create a document tree for you. That means, let's say a simple scenario. I'm having a simple HTML, like you see HTML open tag, and then following with HTML closing tag is available. And in that we have the head section, and then I'm having the head. After that, I'll be having the body, and I'm going to close the body over here. And inside the body, if you can open here a simple H1 tag, okay, and close the H1 that we are having. And after that, we have, let's say, maybe I'll be taking a UL tag. I'm going to close the UL, and inside that, I'll be taking a simple, okay, LI tag, that what I just wanted to have. That's it. So this is how, like, the HTML, you constructed everything. Without executing the HTML, there is no need of anything, right? Even in your program also, you write the logic. After the next step is going to be the execution only, right? Now, once if it is executed, where you can see that output? In a browser. In a browser, you can see that output. Now, in browser, how it is created, it is created as an object for each and everything. That means first an object is created for which tag? For which tag? HTML tag. Second object is, from this HTML, we have two tags, body and the head, right? So that it creates two different objects here. That means it creates the first object and it creates the second object. That means here we have what? Head is one object, and the same way we have another object that is going to be body is the another object that what we are having. And the third thing is going to be, do we have anything in the head section? No, I don't have anything. But in the body, again, we have two tags, H1, and the second one is going to be UL. So these two are getting created as another different object. Now here, the first object name is going to be what? What is the first object name? H1 is the first object, and the second object name is going to be, we have what? UL is the second object name. Okay. Unordered list is the second object name. Now this object again is having another one that is going to be LI. That means every tag, once if it is executed on the browser, internally it creates the object. Each HTML tag will create it as an object. It creates an object, and all those objects together, we call it as a DOM, document object model. Now each DOM or each element is having the list of property. That is where, if you can open, like, the Google DOM properties for table, if I'll be using, now you see HTML DOM table object. Now here we have, like, different object. When I go here, and then if I try to click on, there you see cell is an object. Now, right, maybe I can show you from here. I'll go to the console here, and in the console, document dot write is the one. Write is the one. I'll be having a table. What is the element? Okay, let's have the table. Document dot, or else let's say, what is that ID? What is that ID? Okay, now you can see these are the object property. Align is available, background, busy color, cell spacing, frame, height. Now what is height here? Not supported in HTML. Use style dot height. instead of using that. And the rules you can say, and it is also not supported. That means, but in HTML, whenever if you are writing, is it supported or not? Yes or no? But once if it is converted into the DOM, it is not supported. But not in all the cases. Few cases, like you are not able to get that output. You are not able to get that output. Now I will show you that scenario. Suppose here I am giving the height and weight. Okay, I am giving the height and weight. I'll do one thing. It is not good to have it here. Let's take another div tag. I'll be taking another div tag where it is having a row, new row, and I'm going to write over here. And here I'll be taking 6. Now check that output, how it is going to be. Now this is how it is. Okay, fine. Perfectly fine. Now what I want to do, as they said, you see, height is not supported, right? What I'm trying to do here, I'll be giving something like height is going to be a number is equal to, let's give 150, and width is the number that what I'm having is equal to, let's have 150, that what I'm giving. Okay, 50 is the width that what I'm giving for my table, height and width. Now generally, how to apply these two values? How to apply? Which one? Attribute binding or property binding, right? Because like this is the property and we are getting the value from this property. So that what I can do, I'm going to use what? Attribute binding or property binding. I'll be using tr height and then I'll be using tr width. So I'm using here, the first thing is going to be use that binding, and then here use the property tr height that what I can give, and at the same time let's have tr width that what I can give. Now you see the time when I'm giving the width, am I having any issues? But the time when I'm giving this one, what is the error? Cannot bind to height since it is not a known property of the table. That means few property that you can find it in HTML, but not supported at advanced level, that is in the Angular. That is the reason where even W3 schools also, it clearly shows you height is the attribute which is not supported. Which is not supported, but not all, guys. Very few. Okay, very few. If you can ask me, I can't say, because you see how many tags are available. All these are the tags that we are having. Every tag is having its own DOM property. Few properties that you cannot identify. If that is a case, additionally what you can do is syntax is same. The only thing what you can do, just give ATTR. Okay, if you can use the ATTR, then that is what attribute binding. If you are not using, that is the property binding. Property means known element, attribute means unknown element. Understand? By default, Angular CLI will give you an error. Don't worry, don't need to remember even. Suppose if it is not giving that particular error, at runtime you can't see that output in a proper way. Then what you can do, you can just give ATTR before the property name. Additionally, what you can do, you can give ATTR. That's it. Nothing apart from that one. Understood? If you can have that ATTR, that is that attribute binding. If you can directly apply with the help of square bracket, that is property binding. If you can display with the help of the curly bracket, then that is what type of binding? What type of binding? Right, interpolation. I'll just include that one as well. That means here, interpolation syntax is used to display the data direct as the HTML content. Attribute binding, this syntax is used to assign a dynamic value for the, okay, maybe I can write it here, property binding. Okay, for the property of the HTML tag, and then we have what? Attribute binding. Attribute binding. That means we will be using attr dot. We have what? Property name has to be given. This syntax is used to add a dynamic value for unknown HTML DOM properties. Okay, for unknown HTML DOM properties. Srikanth, how I remember mean I don't have an answer for that, because we have for every tag we have few. Definitely, if you wanted to learn the HTML. Suppose let's say you can go with an input. When I open let's say an input, HTML DOM input button, that is an object, right? Now you see how many properties are available: autofocus, default value, disabled, form, name, type, value. And if you can go to let's say an image also you can see we have the property. If we can come back here, align is available. See this, align is available, not supported in HTML5. If it is HTML5 style.css. Now what I can do, suppose let's say we have the border, right? Now see, if I'll be giving a border for an image, see, if I'll be giving the border is equal to, if I'm giving let's say 1 or let's say 5, if I'll be giving, and save this application and then come back here, it is applied or not? Yes or no? I'm giving the direct value. Suppose this border, I wanted to get it from here. Image border, which is of type number, is equal to, I'll be giving 5. And here, I just want to apply the border over here. Yeah, border is supported, then it is supported. Only if it is not supported, then what you can give? ATTR. Otherwise, no need to give. We have very less. Okay, we have very less, but just have a look into that. How I remember is I am following the compiler, because we have the TypeScript compiler which will take everything. You will be getting an error if the property is not supported. Then blindly what you can do? You can give ATTR before it. It's simple. Yesterday I got to explain. That is where I am writing here. Okay, now is it clear? Clear everyone? What we call it two-way data binding. I'm going to cover both event binding and two-way data binding. But for event binding, I'll take a separate session by explaining different events. We have mouse event, keyboard event, and in the same way form level events are available. Like that we have different events are available. I'll explain you about that events in a later session. But now we will understand how do we work with two-way data binding. Attribute binding using less. Yes, very less, not even less, very less scenario we go with. Mostly we use property and interpolation. Attribute is very less because we have very less number of attributes are available. There are unknown elements. Okay, right. Now the next thing is going to be two-way data binding. Now what is two-way data binding here? What is two-way data binding? What I told you yesterday? What I told you yesterday? Tell me. What is two-way data binding? Right. Two-way data binding is the process of, tell me, binding the data from HTML. That is what we call it as template to component and component to the template. Component to the template. That means if we modify if we modify it in one place, then it will be affected in both the places. Both the places, what I can say. If you can modify it in one place, that will get affected in both the places. That is what we call it as a two-way data binding. And to implement the two-way data binding, two-way data binding, we have two approaches. Those are, one is going to be MVC, another one is going to be MVVM. One is what? MVC is the one. MVC stands for modal view, and the third one is the controller, and the second one MVVM, modal view and then view model. Srikanth, which one is like, most popular one? Which one is most popular? MVC is more popular. When compared with MVVM, MVC is more popular. Now, what is MVC? What exactly? What is modal? What you know about modal, and what you know about the view, and what you know about the controller? What is modal? Tell me. First, we will see with modal view controller, and then I'll go with MVVM. Both will be covered. Now, what is MVC? What you know that? Don't say that modal view controller, I already write. Because of that reason only, I already wrote it over there. When I ask a question, what is MVC? It is modal view controller. That now tell me. Tell me. What is modal stands for? Right, very good. So generally, MVC is a design pattern. It's a design pattern. Design patterns are going to be used to solve the particular problems. Why it is going to be, why the design patterns are introduced in the practical environment is, suppose let's say I started an application. Maybe today I started an application. I have a good customer base and my application is working perfectly fine. The code base what I have built, it is working perfectly fine. At some point of time, maybe after 2 years or 3 years, my business grows. Definitely the customers will add more, right? Business grows means customers will add something more. If that is a case, I just wanted to take different feedbacks from the different customer. That means, suppose let's say someone is asking me, Srikanth, if you can implement this kind of feature in your application, then that would be an additional advantage. Generally, whatever the apps you downloaded, or else suppose if you people wants to purchase any item, first what we will be doing, we will be following the reviews only, right? Yes or no? If you wanted to purchase an item from the Flipkart or Amazon, the first thing that what we are following is review. And in IT also, any software which is going to be released in the market, first initially they kept it in the UAT. Okay, UAT in the sense user acceptance testing. Whether the user is accepted this or not, they are released as that UAT product. Any business you can take. Geo, right now everyone is using Geo. Initially they released completely free for 1 to 2 years. Now they are getting everything back, right? That is what the UAT means. That means they are taking that testing with the real-time data and taking the feedbacks from the real-time user, and based on the development will be. Suppose let's say I have a set of people okay, from different company or different organization, they're all giving a good feedback for my application, and they asked me some feature needs to be implemented. If you can have this, then definitely we will be adding something more people. If that is a case, my existing technologies are not supported to implement that, then what I can do? Do I need to recreate the whole application? Understand what I am saying? Some set of people, they are giving me a feedback that Srikanth, if your application is supported for this feature, then that would be a more advantage for us. So that can you please try to implement that feature? That is the feedback I am getting from the client. But the existing technology that what I am using is not supported to implement that feature. Then I don't want to lose the market, right? Because if you lose the market and if you lose the customer, then definitely that will be the loss for the company. And second thing also, I can't build with that existing technology. Third thing also, I cannot recreate the whole application again. I cannot recreate the whole application with the updated technology. So what is the solution for this is a design pattern. The design pattern will provide a solution that are available or that are used to overcome the problems with the existing technologies. That means with your existing technology, you have some issues. I don't want to touch that. On the top of it, I'm going to integrate the design pattern. That is the reason where design pattern, MVC is a design pattern. But Spring MVC, I hope you know. Struts MVC, you know. Those are the technologies. And .NET people, we have ASP.NET MVC, ASP.NET Core MVC. Those are what we call it as technologies. MVC is a design pattern which comes to your project and sits on the top of it and create the new feature. That is what the design pattern will do. And we have lot of design patterns: iterator, proxy, MVC, MVVM, singleton. Like that, we have n number of design pattern that we are using it in our real-time application development. Now here also, Angular is also supported for two different design patterns to perform the data binding. Those are what we call it as MVC, and the second one is going to be MVVM. Now here, what is M stands for, what is view stands for, and what is controller. Now here, M stands for model is nothing but data. Generally, where we are storing the data? In our programs, where we store the data? Variables only, right? That is what we call it as model. Understand? That is why don't compare MVC with the technologies. Every technology, it is specific again. In Spring, it is used in a different manner. In Angular, it is used in different. In React, it is used in different. But the whole idea is same. Model means deals with the data. Controller means which contains the logic. And view means which contains the presentation. Now here also, when I say about the model is nothing but the data. In Angular, model is nothing but a variable. Okay, a model is nothing but a variable where you can have the data. And the second one, we are having what? View is nothing but what we call it as a presentation. That is nothing but HTML. And the third one that we are having, controller, is act as a glue. Glue is nothing but the mediator. Controller is act as a glue between the model and view for data sharing purpose. For the data sharing purpose. Now in Angular, controller is nothing but component class. That what I can say. Controller is nothing but component class, that what I can say. Okay, that means what is model is nothing but the data where you can store the data. That is what we call it as model. And second thing is going to be what we are having, view. View is going to be what? HTML. And the C is nothing but the controller which is used to share the data from model to the view and then view to the model. If you can have, or if you can follow this approach, that is what we call it as MVC. That is what we call it as MVC. But in any approach to share the data, or to perform two-way data binding, we use a concept, or else we use a directive, that is ng model, which is the part of forms module, that what I can say, which is the part of what? The forms module, that what I can say. That means whenever if you wanted to use that ng model, then we must have to include a module that is going to be forms module. Now I will show you a simple example how we can make use of it. Why I am telling this as simple example means because every day we will be dealing with a component. According to me, right now, whatever we are learning, these are simple example, but going forward, we will see more complex example by retrieving the data from API and display the data in HTML also. Those kind of examples also we will understand. But for now, first we will understand component data sharing. These two are done, then we'll see the complex example. What I want to do is, let's have, I'll be creating a component. Where I can create the component? Which folder it is? App folder. Very good. Right click, go to the integrated terminal and MD. What is command to create the component? ng. After that, G for what? Generate. C for component, and the name of the component that you can create with any name, that's up to you. I'll be giving the name of the component is going to be maybe, let's say, employee component I'll be creating, and then I don't want to have the test cases, so that I can give -skip -test, that what I am using, and say okay. Now you can see a component is going to be created. I saw few people, they are not responding. It means you guys are not practiced still. Please do the practice. Because after 1 week, if we dig more into the directives and all, you need not to come also, because you never understand anything. Services integration and API call, RxJS library integrations. Understand these third party integrations. If I start, then definitely you will never understand anything. That is the reason I saw like few people, I don't want to call them specifically, but you know that who are practiced and who are responded and who are not responded. Please do the practice. Angular is simple language, simple framework. If you can really practice. Only with Angular also we have the job openings. Only with Angular. No need to learn Java. No need to learn .NET. No need to learn Python, PHP, anything. Pure Angular, we have the development jobs are there. That is where just please focus on this. Okay. That's very important. Right. Now you see, I created a component and my component name is going to be employee component, and here we have the HTML and here we have the TS file is available. Okay. Now what I just want to do is, I am going to have a simple form over here. I am going to create a simple form over here. How to create the form? Generally tell me how to create the form here. Okay, by using the form tag, I'll take a div which contains the class that is the container, and after that I'll take a div which contains the class as row, and after that I'm giving the margin top as going to be 4. And I wanted to create a form. Okay, that is my requirement. So how to create the form generally? Let's say, I mean, it's a bootstrap form, so that bootstrap form, bootstrap registration form, that what I can say, when I type it over there, then we will be having like, different forms here. You can see like lot of like, websites, they provide like, this code, because like if you require, then we can visit. You see this, how the form is going to be. We have like, the template. We can download that also, but I don't want to go with that much right now. Boot snippet, I guess this is fine. The best example. Suppose, let's say I wanted to create a simple form. This is the form that what I'm going to create. When I go to here, this is the preview of the HTML. This is also too much. You see, we have like CSS, some CSS, and we have the HTML. Everything that you can find it here, but I don't want to make much complex here. Let's create the simple form. So the first thing is going to be, I'll ask the user, let's have a label. Okay, let's have a label. I'll take a div, and the name of the class is going to be form group, and I'm going to have a label over here, and the label is going to be enter first name, that what I'll be giving. And after that, user may enter the first name, so that we have to take that with the help of the text box, right? So that I'm using input type equal to text, and at the same time, just wanted to give another class here is equal to form control. Now, what is form group and form control? These are what we call it as a bootstrap classes. These are what we call it as bootstrap classes. If you wanted to see without bootstrap how it would be, I'll run this component for now, so that app-employee, okay, app-employee, and then I'm going to register that in index.html. I'm giving that in the index.html, and then following with what I wanted to have, I'm having here, let's say, employee component as my startup. So I'll go to the module and giving it over here. Now you see, enter first name. Am I able to see that or not? Okay. Now this is how it is going to be. Now the next one is, okay, it's completely row. Instead of that, I'll take a div where it contain, let's say 6, and there I can have, save it, and then you can see enter first name. And before that, if you wanted to have registration, so that I can give a simple H3 tag registration form, that what I am using. And here I'm going to give a class as going to be text-center, save it, and then you can come back here, a simple thing, registration form that we are having. Now the second one, I'll ask the user to create the last name, so that I'll copy this and then enter last name, that what I am using, and input type equal to text. And now you can see, if I am not applying like, the classes here, form control I'm not giving, and at the same time, form group also I don't want to give, save it and then come back here, see how it would be. You can see here, this is how it is. Without using the bootstrap classes, this is how it is. But if I give the bootstrap classes here. Okay, and save it. Now you can see the look and feel is good or not. Tell me, that is how. No need to write by your own. If you can apply the classes, then automatically that is going to be applied it over there. And the third one is going to be, I just wanted to have and another one that is going to be, maybe I can say enter email, just and input type equal to, let's have that email. And after that, I just wanted to have, let's say first name, last name, email. Maybe I can say enter date of birth, and user may enter like, date, input type equal to date, that what I can give. And then I'm going to take another one. Let's say select state, that what I can say. Okay, select state, that what I can give. And generally states are going to be in where? How to create the states? By using drop down. I hope you know the drop down, right? So that what I can do, I am using the drop down, and here we will be providing different options here. Or else select city, that what I can give different options here. So that the first option is going to be Hyderabad. Okay, and the second option is Mumbai. Like that you can give anything. Let's have Mumbai, and then I'll be giving Vizag. Okay, like that it is going to be. Now you see, when I open this one, this is how it is. And for this select the city also, we have the class equal to form hyphen control. If I am using, then you see the look and feel is going to be like this. And you see, we have like, the date, and then email, and the last name and first name. This is the registration form. Now the requirement is going to be, whenever if user is having some data here, I just wanted to share the data to this form. Whenever if the form is modified, I want to get the data and display it over there. I mean, I wanted to get that updated value, and those values I want to display it over here. That is my requirement. Understood? Yes or no? Right. Now, what I want to do, initially, I'm giving some values here. Let's say first name, which is of type string, is equal to, I'll be writing Sri is the name. And the next one, last name, and this is going to be Kant or something. And after that, we will be having what? What is the third one we are having? Email address. So that email, that what I am giving is equal to, I just wanted to write sri@gmail.com. And then I'm going to give the date of birth, which is going to be date is available. I don't want to make it more complex right now. So I'll be taking some string, and I'm giving some date of birth here, and this is how. And the last one is going to be what we are having, the state, city, right? City, and where I can give, it is also of type string, is equal to Hyderabad, that what I can give. Now, right now, I want to display this data to here. And whenever user is, how to display this normally? And I already used the 6 column. So let's add another one, another 6 columns, that what I am adding. And here employee, let's say employee. Okay, let's have the div, where I'm going to have the class as going to be 6, call as 6, that what I can give. And after that, I'll have a div where I can give margin top as 4. I'll take a data list where I'm going to have the term, and I'll be having first name. Now, what is the first name? From where I can get it? I have a variable here, right? So that I'm going to get it and then displaying it over there. And the second one is the DT. Let's say last name that we are having, and I just wanted to get the last name from here. And you see, we have the last name. Right, last name. And then we have what? DT, where I can have an email, so that DD, that what I can give, where I can give email over there. And the next one, DT, date of birth, where I can say date of birth. Okay, DOB, that what I can say. Is it changed in syntax 16? I'm not sure. I'll see. And the next one, DT, what is the last? City, right? I have the city, and DD, that what I can give. We do have what? City is available. City or site? City only, right? I'll just come back here, and I wanted to give the city over here and save it. Now you can just see, we have an error. Very good. Invalid ICU, and error occur in the template. Okay. Somewhere email. Right, perfect. So this is how it is going to be, right? I'm having the data or not. Sri Kanti is available, and sri@gmail.com, and date of birth. And then we have the Hyderabad, that what we have. Now, whenever if user is modify the value here, okay, I just wanted to update, okay, srikant@gmail.com, and at the same time, if I'll be modifying some value here, and instead of giving, if I'm giving this value, I wanted to modify same time in the component, because if the component is modifying its value, I can see that result over here or not. Yes or no? What is one-way data? It will get the value from the component to the HTML only, right? Yes or no? So the requirement is here what? Whenever if user is modify any value in the component, that I wanted to get it in the HTML. That is one-way data binding. Two-way data binding means what? One place if you can modify, that should be affected in both the places. That is the two-way data binding. Now how we can implement? To implement it, we use what? NG modal. So how I can give it over there? Let me go to the NG modal, and one more thing I'll be writing here. We can apply two-way data binding. Okay, two-way data binding, that is NG modal only for input elements, because two-way data binding means HTML to component. How you can take the HTML? How you can take the data from the HTML without input element? Is it possible? H1 tag is taking the data from the user. Paragraph tag is taking the data from the user. No, it won't take, definitely. Table tag is taking the data from the user. Obviously no. Only input element, that is the forms. That is where yesterday I asked you to go through the form and the input elements that are available in the form. Only forms can take the data from the user. That is where we call it a form is used to take the input from the user. So now what I can do, I'm going to apply only for that. So how I can apply? So first thing, for that input element, here you can see, for that input element, I'm going to use the two-way data binding. What is two-way data binding? NG modal is equal to which property you wanted to bind, give that particular property name. I just wanted to give the property name as going to be first name. But you see, we have an error, cannot bind that NG modal since it is not a known property of an input. Why it is showing me like that? Because NG modal is purely related to the triangular. Yes or no? It's because NG, the name you can see, NG stands for angular. It purely related to that angular. That is the reason HTML is not able to recognize. The input element is not able to recognize. That is the reason. Check the point that what I have given. To share the data or to perform the two-way data binding, we use what? NG model, and which is the part of which module? Forms module. That means we have to include the forms module. But I'm in the HTML. In HTML, do we have the import statements? No, we can't have. HTML means template means it contain only the HTML. It should not having it. So that what I can do, go to the app module. There you see we have the imports section is available. Okay. Earlier, what section we used? Declarations we use to declare the component. Now, what I want to do, I use the import section, and here I am going to import a module that is what? Forms module. And this module is available in where? You see, import forms module, where it is available? At the rate Angular/form. Now come back to the HTML. Do you have any error here? See this? No. Understood? One time you can specify, then that should be fine. Anywhere you can use it in any component also. Because I configured that at the module level. Right? In the module, whatever the components are available under the declaration section, each and every place I can use that NG model. Understood? So now the second one, now coming to the next one, what I can do? Simply, I am using here NG model is equal to, what is the second one we have? What is the second one? Last name. I'll be binding the last name. After that, I am using anywhere, guys, anywhere you can apply. It doesn't matter the order. NG model is equal to, we have email is available, and the next one is going to, okay, it's the date of birth, man. It's a date of birth, and you see, it shows you the property names also. And here I am using what? NG model is equal to, I am giving email. And did I miss anything? Nothing. Okay. And after that, for this select also, I use what? NG model is equal to, I am writing city. Now the time when I'm applying, check that output. You see, am I able to get the data or not? But in order to display the date, we need to write the jQuery logic. That's later we'll see. Now you see, we are able to, otherwise what I can do is, I can take it as input type text only, so that we'll get the date. Now you see, this is how it is going to be. Am I able to get like, the same data or not? Yes or no? Now you see what I am doing. That time when I'm modifying, you see, is it modified or not? See there, Srikanth at Gmail date of birth, and I'm giving something like Vizag. Now you see, both the places it is getting. I'm taking the data from the company by using interpolation syntax. That is where once you do the modification here, okay, once if you do the modification here, how it will, I changed it in my HTML, right? First what I am doing, I have my component is having the data. Okay, component is having the data or not? That data what I am doing, I am displaying it in where? Both the places. First place is going to be form I can display. I used what? Form, there I am displaying the data, and the second place is going to be, I use what? Data list. Okay, data list. And here I use what? Interpolation syntax, and I am displaying the data. Now you can see, I'll refresh my application. Now you see, both the places I'm having the same data now. Yes or no? Yes or no? Tell me. Right. Now you see from the interpolation, component to interpolation we have. This time what we are doing, the form is giving the updated values to the component. That means from the form, we are taking an input. Is entered some input, the input is going to give to the form, and then form will give it to the component. And again, what it is doing, anyhow, component is having an interpolation relation with this cell, so that it is getting updated in both the ways. That is how it is going to be. One-way data binding, and here it is going to be two-way data binding that we are having. And both together you can implement by using one, that is what we call it as a ng model, where a ng model is the part of which module? Forms module. This is all about two-way data binding. You may get Srikanth, directly we can use two-way data binding. Why should I go with one-way data binding? Because always values this. Yes or no? Let's have a table. Table is going to be once given, then that can't be changed. If I'll be giving a possibility to the user, user can give 200, 2300, like that he can give, then it will y part. That is where one-way data binding, how much it is important. Same thing, two-way data binding is also important. But mostly to implement the forms, to take the input from the user at that particular time, 99% of the scenario, we use what? Two-way data binding only. We use what? Two-way data binding. That is very important. Clear? Clear or not? Tell me. Everyone. Yes? Perfect. So this is all about the two-way data binding. And any point that I missed here, okay, forms module, we can apply ng model only for an input elements that we are having. Perfect. That's it. And here you can see I have my component, and where the component is giving the data, component is something like a controller, as I told you. Inside the controller, I created the variable. Those are what? First name, last name, email, date of birth, and city. These are what we call it as? What we call it as? Model. Understand? A property or a variable is nothing but the model, because there only we store our data, right? Yes or no? There only we store our data. That is the reason we call it as a model, that what we can say. Now, this model data via component, we are sharing it to the HTML. That means model to view, we are sharing the data through the component. That is what we call it as MVC. Now, what is MVVM? What is MVVM? Model view, view model. That means within the HTML only, we create the model, and view will communicating with that model and get the data. And once if it is modified, then that will be like that. It is going to be a very rare cases we use that MVVM, but I will show you that example. Yeah, now we'll go. It's not a big deal. That means for that it is not required to have like all. It's a simple thing. Let's do one thing. I'll be creating a new row over here. Let's take a new row. And here I'm using the class as going to be row, that what I can give. And after that, I'm giving some margin top as 4, and where I can have a div, and which contains the class as going to be same 6, that what I can give. A simple, not the registration, login form I'll take. I don't want to maintain like all the field, just a username and password. Those are enough for me. So how I can create it quickly? Let's have a div where it is having form hyphen group, that what I can say. And here I'll be having a label where I can ask the user to enter username, And after that, input to type is going to be text, that what I can say. And after that, we are having another div over here, which is going to be form group, that what I can give. I'll be having a label where I can say enter password, and then I'm going to have an input type as going to be password. That's it. So a simple form that I have created it over there. Now, generally what we are doing, we created the properties here, and then we'll be giving with the help of ng model here, right? Yes or no? Yes or no? If you can do that, then that is going to be MVC architecture. But what I want to do, I wanted to go with MVVM, so that you need not to create anything in the component. Everything has to be created directly within the template itself. So how to create it? To create like that, what we are doing, we will be using ng model only, but in a different approach. I used what? Ng model, and then I am using a template reference variable. Okay, a template reference variable. This variable can be anything. You can give any name. I'll be giving the name to use is equal to, I'm writing n model. Means what happened, here, whenever if user has entered any data here, then automatically that value, any data in the text bar, that value will be stored over here. Okay, just it's a name. Technical name is template reference variable. If you don't want to call like that, call it as normal property. The technical name is the way how we created the properties here, right? I created first name, last name, email, DOB, right? Same way, here also I created a property, and whenever if you create any property which will start with a hash, that is what we call it as template reference variable. Technical name. Shrikant, it is very difficult to remember, you may call it as what? Simple property also. Okay. Now the same thing here also, ng model, and after that I am using a hash over here. I'll be writing password is equal to ng model, that what I can give. Now you see, this is how it is going to be. The output you can see, enter username and enter password. Am I created anything in the component here? I haven't created anything, right? But you see here, what I want to do, I'll be taking another div which contains a column as the 6, and here username is how I can display the username. We have the username field is available dot value, and at the same time I am just giving a break tag, and then password is, I just wanted to use, let's say, password dot value has to be given. Now you see, I'm coming here. Right now username is empty, password is empty. But once if I am doing something here, am I able to get it or not? Tell me. Yes or no? This is also two-way data binding only. But now here we are escaping one thing, that is what? Controller. We are not writing what? A controller here. Generally what we are doing in the controller, created the property. That means create the model. If this model is created directly within the template, that is what we call it as model view model. Understand? Different names they have given. I don't know why it is going to be. In real time, this concept, what we call it as content projection. Content projection is the name. Okay, template reference variable means it's a simple property only. Maybe to make it like, somehow complex, and to make it more technical perspective, they have given those names, template reference variable. Okay, and this is what content projection, like that. But end of the day, model view model means if variables are created under the template, that is model view model. If that variables are created under the component, that is what? MVC. That's it. Simple terms. You can remember like that. Okay, if you can remember like that, then it will be easy. But for going for an interview, you can read that one. Just nothing apart from that one. I'll give you that point. I'll add that point also over here. Clear na? So the first one is going to be what? MVC. Here I used what? Registration form with MVC. And at the same time, I'll be coming here. Okay. And then login form with MVVM. That's it. Login form with MVVM. Yes, template reference variable is only used with MVVM, nothing apart from that. Okay, nothing apart from that. And this kind of forms are also there. We have two different types of forms, template driven and reactive forms or model driven forms. Two different types of forms are available, but still this is a simple one. I am not doing any validations also here, right? There will be some time where you can understand how to build the forms also. Now, generally, like, I'm not going in a, like, still as per the content that what I'm preparing. I'll show you object oriented component and then data binding. Data binding, I thought of having 2 days. But second day 2 is done. Still, like, some notes is pending from my end. I'll just give that notes. I'll upload it over there. What is content projection and all. And tomorrow is going to be what? Integration of sample live API. Because yesterday someone asked me, Srikanth, please explain me about integration of fake store API, how we are going to do. So that what I can do, I'm going to take this one, the integration part. It's hardly like 1 day, but why I kept this buffer time is to explain you a different examples, getting the data and how we can display that. That is the reason I'm thinking. Maybe I can add this, like, at least after this. It come like, below actually, not without completion of directive. It is tough, but I will show you how we can get a simple example, and later we'll start the directive and then a whole application. That is what I mentioned it over here. Okay, so we will follow that. Yeah, that's it for the day. I'll upload that in some time. You please follow that. And yesterday someone is facing an issue with including, like, the bootstrap. But if you really follow the notes, I clearly copy pasted over here, right? Yes or no? Then again, why they are asking that question, I don't know. Someone in the group, they posted, like, in a different manner. They are giving 2 dots and slash, but I clearly copy pasted, like, the links also. That means how we can import it. If you can just simply copy this and paste it in your system, it definitely works. And in where it has to be also, I have written over there. That is where please follow the notes. Don't blindly start that example. Read the theory at least for 1 or 2 times. And then if you can start the practical, then it will be easy for you. Because, like, can you please share that course content? Why, Raju? Any use of it? I'll follow, right? Okay, I'll upload it, don't worry. Okay, now you can see, if you can follow these steps, it would be easy. And even the notes also, if you can see, I am not adding any extra thing. whatever we are doing in the program, I'm adding that only, right? Yes or no? That is why, like, first read the theory part and then start the practical so that you don't have any issues. Okay, I'll upload that in the drive also, don't need to worry. I'll cover like many things if you really respond well. If you are not respond well, then I can also take, like, the sessions in that manner. It's all depend on, like, how you are going to responding. As we are not yet started, like, the proper subject, maybe tomorrow onwards we'll start, like, the proper angular. You people will get assignments also from tomorrow onward. So please be ready. That is where I asked you, please do practice on daily. Okay, that's it for the day. Thank you and have a nice day. Thank you.